All right. Good afternoon to everyone out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes. Next to me is my partner in crime, the toxic gunslinger himself, Outlaw Bill. And
Hello.
we are
Happy
here
birthday,
to
Brother
bring you.
Warrior.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you to all. Thank you, Lady Mist, and to everybody in the chat. Yes, it is officially my birthday today. Thank you, Connie. And well, we've got a treat for you here, folks. This is The Last Samurai from 2003 with Tom Cruise, Ken Watanabe, Hiroyuki Sanada, who those of you who have been watching Shogun will recognize as Lord Toranaga. He is in this film as well. Also, Tony Goldwyn, Timothy Spall, and Billy Connolly, among others. 27. I wish. I do wish. Hello, Enigma. All right. Let me go ahead and acknowledge the chat here real quick. I don't want to miss anybody. The first one here was this guy. Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, who's that guy?
He's this guy. He looks like trouble to me, you know, saying hello to people in the chat and whatnot. It's very odd behavior. The Loyal Blue Wrench, the bird woman of YouTube. Watch out for her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's Connie Clary.
Hello, Connie.
Emoji Queen, Lady Mist. And of course, Enigma Severus. All right. Now, for those of you who may be new to the show, we unfortunately, as much as we would love to, we cannot show this movie to you live because, well, we don't want Warner Brothers to sue us, and we don't want YouTube to nuke our channels. So unless you have your own physical copy, as I do, you will need to follow along with us on Cosme. The link is at the top, should be at the top of both chats right now.
Yep.
And I assume is also in Rumble, so that the folks following us there. And hello to everybody on Rumble. I can't see you, but I know you're there. You can follow along that way if you are watching this show live. If you are not, you will need your own physical copy in order to follow along. So don't be nasty in the comments. As much as we love comments and encourage comments, saying that this is clickbait doesn't help anything. You know, you will need to either watch along with this live or have your own copy.
Yeah.
So, okay. Bill, on over to you.
All right. Well, this has a runtime of 2 hours, 34 minutes. It's got a Rotten Tomato score of 66% fresh and an audience score of 83%. This is before me. Well, it's Rotten Tomatoes. Anyway, you guys can judge for yourselves. We do hope you'll follow along. Got the screening room loaded up. If you want to follow us over there now, we will get the film underway for you. All right, here we go.
And first person we see, of course, is Hashimoto-san. He's played by Ken Watanabe. This was his first English language film, and he was Oscar nominated. And of course, here's Tom Cruise as Nathan Algren. San Francisco, 1876.
Ah, it's got that guy from the Ghostbusters.
Yep.
Walter Peck.
Yep. William Atherton.
And that other guy from Monty Python. John 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 his name's John something or other, right? John Cleese.
No. John Cleese is not in this movie, but Billy Connolly is, and he kind of looks somewhat like John Cleese. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are confused. Yeah. Ixnay on the Asaker A.
That rifle looks like a very short barrel. Or is big on the wood stock.
He could have been Jack Torrance. It's like that scene in a Shock to the System, right? It says, he was your superior, right? Well, he was my boss. Mm.
This movie really caught me by surprise when it came out. Not that it was a Tom Cruise movie, just that how good it was and how good I liked it. I know a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there who could take or leave Tom Cruise. It does make some incredibly great action films and good films. As a person, he's kind of crazy though, kind of nuts into Scientology stuff.
Timothy Spall, who we've seen in Appaloosa.
Oh yeah, he's a brilliant
Younger,
actor. He's
yeah,
been
yeah.
in quite a few things.
Younger audiences might remember him as Peter Pettigrew in the Harry Potter movies. And there's a British film that I thought he should have maybe gotten the Oscar for called Secrets and Lies. Check that out from the early 90s.
Now I don't know about historical, but I don't. Is this supposedly the emperor that decides to go to war with America in the 40s?
No, no, no. This guy's way earlier.
Okay. Yes, you call it war paint.
They're expecting some like elderly guy or somebody their age. They're not expecting like a 17-year-old kid. But
Yeah,
here he is.
he's
Yeah.
a young emperor. That doesn't even look the age of 20 yet.
And step and back and no, sorry. I actually first saw Billy Connolly in an HBO special, comedy special, because he's a stand-up comedian, and he was at the time referred to as the Scottish Robin Williams.
Oh, this is a good scene. Yoshino Province, 1876.
Mhm. Now, any good action film, war film, what have you, will let you know in its first action sequence how things are going to play out, how rules of combat, so to speak. And I only have one thing to say here: duck and cover.
They do look rather menacing and foreboding.
Follow the white tiger. Whoopsie. To everyone who was on Cosme, let us
Sure.
know if you're seeing and hearing everything okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our timestamp is
Of,
32:05.
mhm. Of course, here's the car carry scene. Okay, Enigma is stalled out as well. Okay,
Oh, okay.
I guess we'll have to refresh here.
Yeah.
So to simply leave Cosme and then go back to the link and hit it.
All right. This should clear that up, hopefully, for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jerry Maguire. Excuse me.
LTJ Play Nice.
Hold on. Have to. DC real quick. Okay. That's true, Enigma. He doesn't do a lot of running in this. Well, briefly. Time for detox. It's the introduction of a character that Algren refers to as Bob, and he's the guy who's kind of sent to keep an eye on him.
Hello, Samuel Proctor. Welcome. And Curtis Shelby.
All right, good to see you both.
Thank you very much. And share this out if you could. Let them know that we're live. We're watching a modern, earlier classic from the early 2000s. He does appear to be ahead of the table, doesn't he? Igma Severus. Severus. The practice wooden swords that they use are called bocons. Bocons. I actually, I actually have a bocon. Hello, Tim.
And thank you, Tim.
For your head of all thoughts. I think that's what the Disney writers do is through their head of all thoughts. Sorry, I had to get that joke in there. It may be Tim. Our timestamp is 101:49.
So now we're starting to get the mutual respect between Kagura and the samurai. And he's on his way to sort of becoming one of them at this point.
Oh yes, we're gonna have to do that one
Yeah.
someday. Seven Samurai.
Senjuro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll get it. We'll get that one for the future.
And then and this is the which referred to as the ninja fight. Samuel, if you've never seen it, then we should definitely have to do that film very soon. I like that they don't try to shoehorn a romance into this movie. You know, it's all kind of happens naturally. Oh, here we go.
It was a very large, elaborate force of ninjas,
Mm.
assassins that essentially came for him.
Mm. 2-1. 2 against 2. Mm. Clear.
Not sure, Samuel.
And hello, Kronos.
Hey, Cronus. Yes, Cronus.
Scott Wilson, of course. Many films, including Hostiles, which we've seen on our channel, as well as, of course, as Herschel in The Walking Dead.
Our current timestamp is 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 31 seconds.
I don't think they care. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get that message. Hmm. So now everybody has a choice. He doesn't. He just hates you.
Yep. He plays the protagonist in a lot of films.
Yeah, he does.
Says that he pretty good, pretty well too.
Yeah. He's in a movie I saw recently called Ezra, which he also directed. And it's Tony Goldwyn I'm talking about, of course. And he's an interesting character in that because you think he's going to be an antagonist. You think he's going to be the prick, but he really isn't. He has some layers to him in that one. The Ronin fight. Whoops. Let's see that again. It's super slow mo.
Kind of draws back to what the kid told him. Too much mind.
Mm-hmm. Not in your lifetime.
But you won't realize to see it. Yeah.
Don't give him any ideas.
You think?
Violently.
Bodies, lots of bodies.
There's a companion making of book for this film that includes some of the real life Graham's photographs. Mm.
Havoc and unleash the dogs of war. No, Ogren.
William, we get to fight English. Aye. Excellent. That's cheating. Short. They won't be now.
Damn it, Bob! Tim, bring out your dead. Yep, you're not worthy. No, sir. And that was The Last Samurai. And that, and that kid is How I Met Your Mother. Good, good show. Good showing.
How long was I muted that time?
I, I don't rightly know, but I think quite a while.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All right. So basically you missed everything I said during that final battle there.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, terrific. Okay. Wow. All right. From
Sorry.
now on, I'm just going to stay on the StreamYard page, and I'm not going to pay attention to Cosme so I can see what the hell's going on the board here. I've been talking my ass off for like the last half hour now. All right. All right. Well, there are a couple of things that I would like to say. Number one, to all the wokey twinkle toes out there who complained to us that we quote unquote allowed this movie to pass, but yet complain about Assassin's Creed, Creed and Ghost of Tsushima and whatnot. Cruz's character is not the last samurai. Katsumoto is the last samurai. Okay?
Mhm.
Get that straight, kids. Before you come to us with your bullshit. They did not whitewash this movie.
No.
Because I saw y'all on Twitter today talking about this movie. Go crack open a book and read some history.
Besides which, it's a fictional film anyway.
Up to a point. there's some reality in it, and there's some fiction in it.
Uh-huh.
So this is a movie. It's kind of 50-50 in a lot of ways, between Hollywood and what I refer to as the Dances with Wolves story, and then there's the what actually did happen. This is a movie I think we should revisit again sometime down the line, Bill. If because I know there's a couple we've been talking about that we've done in the past that maybe we want to revisit, but this is definitely one of them I would want to revisit. All right. We shall consult the scrolls. All right. The Last Samurai was released December 5th, 2003. And was nominated for 4 Oscars. On that. They're not helping me right now. Here we are. All right. Nominated for 4 Oscars. Ken Watanabe was nominated for supporting actor. Also, costume design, art direction, and sound. And was the best foreign language film at the Japanese Academy Awards that year as well. It won the AFI. Citation reads as such: The Last Samurai presents a timeless story of honor in the cinematic tradition of Akira Kurosawa. This beautifully crafted star vehicle serves as one of America's modern action screen icons. Sorry, and Tom Cruise not only rises to the challenge but carries the film into the history books with great dignity. The recreation of 19th century Japan is a feast for the eyes, and Edward Zwick's masterful direction not only presents spectacular battle scenes but never loses sight of what the individual warriors stood for. All right. The budget was estimated at around 140 million and went on to gross 455 million worldwide. Okay. Filming locations included Santa Clarita, California, Owaji City, Hyogo, Japan, Castle Green Apartments, 99 South Raymond, Pasadena, California. That's interesting. Henderson Valley Studios, Hickory Avenue, Henderson, Auckland, New Zealand. Laramie Street, Warner Brothers Burbank Studios, 4000 Warner Boulevard, Burbank, California. Demolished in May of 2003 and replaced by Warner Village. Mount Taranaki, New Zealand for the Mount Fuji shots. New Plymouth, Taranaki, New Zealand for the Japanese port set. Nijo Castle, Kyoto-shi, Kyoto, Japan. Pekura Park, New Plymouth, Taranaki, New Zealand for the rifle training scenes. Sosuzan Ignoji Temple, Himeji, Japan. I probably just massacred all those names just then. Sorry. Stage 15, Warner Brothers, Burbank Studios, 4000 Warner Boulevard, Burbank, California. Stage 19, Warner Brothers, Burbank Studios. In the Arudi Valley, Arudi Taranaki, New Zealand, for the Japanese village scenes and the battle scenes. All right. Trivia. Tom Cruise took no upfront salary for this movie. Cruise narrowly escaped potentially fatal injuries after a sword was swung within 1 inch of his neck while filming. He and his co-star Hiroyuki Sanada were acting out a sword fight scene. When the incident happened, Sanada swung a sword at Cruise, who was on an off-camera mechanical horse at the time, but the machine reportedly malfunctioned and failed to duck at the right moment. Sanada stopped the blade just 1 inch from his neck. This movie marks the 100th score for Hans Zimmer. Interesting fact, his first movie was The Zero Boys. Might remember that one from the 80s. The Japanese character that Taka's elder son paints and gives to Algren is the character for Samurai. The kanji characters that appear on the posters often beneath the title say Bushido, the warrior way, i.e. Japanese chivalry. This not only marks the first time Ken Watanabe starred in an American-made movie, but it is the first time he spoke English in a movie. Although this movie seems to imply that Japan's new army was trained by the Americans, in fact, it was the Prussian general staff that assisted in the modernization of Japan's army. The swords used in this movie are the folded steel Orca katanas by Paul Chen. Originally blue, they are painted red to match the armor of the samurai that Captain Nathan Algren kills in his first engagement with Katsumoto's men. It is the same armor in which Taka dresses Algren for the final battle. In all, 7 live blades were purchased for the production from Emurisart. Okay. I probably butchered that. In the United States. For the climactic battle sequence, over 500 Japanese extras trained for 10 days at the Clifton Rugby Grounds in New Plymouth, New Zealand. The first movie to use the new Kodak Vision 2 500T 5218 film stock, the successor of the previous Vision 500T 5279. However, it was released later than Seabiscuit, which used the same film stock, but at a later date. When Taka starts to undress for Captain Algren, there is a shot with her clothes slightly below his shoulders, looking backward over her shoulder. This is an homage to Hishikawa Morinobu's ukiyo-e painting Backwards Beauty. All right, the final battle takes place on May 26th. Die-hard fans and extras watch the movie on May 26th every year. Tom Cruise spent almost 2 years in preparation for this movie, including swordplay instruction and Japanese language lessons. At the beginning, the Japanese soldiers who are trained by the Americans are using American-made model 1861 Springfield muskets and British-made pattern 1853 Enfield muskets, no doubt surplus from the American Civil War, which ended 11 years before the beginning of the movie. At the final battle, however, the now better trained and better equipped army can be seen using Prussian-made Georg's 1871 bolt-action Mausers, a single-shot bolt-action black powder cartridge rifle. This rifle, unlike modern bolt-action rifles, had no magazine. The model 1871-84 would add a tubular magazine. This equipment update is also reflected in the dress of the Japanese soldiers, which abandoned the American 1870s look at the first part of the movie and adopted a stern militaristic Prussian look, dark blue blouse, white gaiters, the more military-style cap of a professional army instead of a French-style kepi than used by the U.S. Army. This is because the elite Japanese units during this time were trained by Prussia, and the Model 1871 Mauser was widely exported during the 1870s, 1880s, and was not fully replaced even in Prussian-German service until 1889. Contrary to popular misconception, the title of this movie does not refer to Captain Nathan Algren or Katsumoto. The word samurai here in its plural form refers to Katsumoto's clan as a whole. This movie was inspired by a project developed by writer and director Vincent Ward. Ward became executive producer on this movie, working in development on it for nearly 4 years. After approaching several directors, amongst them Francis Ford Coppola and Peter Weir, he interested Edward Zwick. The movie went ahead with Zwick as director and producer and was shot in Ward's native New Zealand. Historically, the only Westerners fighting in the Japanese Civil War were French military advisors under Jules Brunet, who joined the Shogun's army. Even if most of them were fighting with French equipment, some, like Eugene Calais, wore samurai attire. The swordsmith in the village is a real swordsmith. His name is Soji Yasuhara, brother to Yasuhara Yosindo. Soji is a Mukanza level master swordsmith, one of the highest rankings in Japan. Filming took place in New Zealand, mostly in the Taranaki region, and the Japanese cast members and an American production crew. This location was chosen due to the fact that Edgemont, Mount Taranaki, resembles Mount Fuji, and also because there's a lot of forest and farmland in the Taranaki region. This acted as a backdrop for many scenes, as opposed to the built-up cities of Japan. Several of the village scenes were shot on the Warner Brothers backlot in Burbank, California. Some scenes were shot in Kyoto and Himeji, Japan. There were 13 separate locations altogether. Critical reception in Japan was generally positive. Tomomi Katsuda of the Mainichi Shimbun said that this movie was, quote, a vast improvement over previous American attempts to portray Japan, noting that producer and director Edward Zwick had researched Japanese history, cast well-known Japanese actors, and consulted dialogue coaches to make sure he didn't confuse the casual and formal categories of Japanese speech. However, Katsuda still found fault with this movie's idealistic storybook portrayal of the samurai, stating, "Our image of samurai is that they were more corrupt," such as he said, "the noble samurai leader Katsumoto set his teeth on edge." This movie made more money at the box office in Japan than in the United States. Before the final battle, as Captain Algren dismounts after riding back to the ranks of Katsumoto, his horse kicks out and hits a warrior in the groin.
Ow! Yep. Oh, that's marks.
Tom Cruise and Timothy Spall, who played Graham, also appeared together in Vanilla Sky. The scene in which Captain Algren simulates reload under fire for a Japanese recruit is reminiscent to a similar scene in the earlier Edward Zwick movie Glory. Matthew Broderick's character simulated fire by firing an identical sidearm up into the air, as opposed to Algren firing around his Japanese recruit. Ken Watanabe and Togo Agawa also appeared together in Memoirs of a Geisha. Chad Lindbergh plays one of the Winchester representatives in this movie. He had a supporting role in Supernatural, which is led by main characters Sam and Dean Winchester. The filming in Taranaki coincided with a summer of many days without rain to the benefit of the film crew. Taranaki locals used the term Samurai Summer as reference for A Summer with Many Clear Days. During filming in New Zealand, Tom Cruise stayed in Okura. The filming brought over $50 million to the local economy in Taranaki. When the samurai are summoned to Tokyo to meet Emperor Meihei, probably messed that name up too. Sorry, I know. I'm not Japanese. Sorry, folks. They are seen entering the city on horseback as Graham is photographing two geisha with a large 8x10 view camera. The movie then cuts to what he is seeing on the camera's large focusing screen, two geishas standing close to each other while looking into the camera. However, the image on his focusing screen is shown as sepia-toned black and white image, not in true color as it would be in real life. This was pure creative genius on behalf of producer and director Edward Zwick, since color photography had only been recently invented, was very complex and not widely available. Instead, the 8x10 black and white silver plate on glass film plate used by Graham would have had a similar sepia-toned look when developed. The character of Katsumoto is inspired by a real-life samurai, Saigo Takamori, who before leading a rebellion was a field marshal in the Imperial Army. This is briefly alluded to when Graham mentions Katsumoto once fought for the Emperor. However, Katsumoto is only shown in traditional garb wielding traditional weapons, while Saigo wore modern clothing prior to and utilized modern weaponry during the rebellion. The samurai in the film are seen carrying two swords. This is a practice known as daisho, which literally translates to big little. The larger blade was the curved katana, which was most commonly used for combat and dueling. The short sword was a blade known as wakizashi, and would be more commonly be associated with performing seppuku. The armor which the characters wear is traditional samurai armor known as karuta. The helmet is known as kabuto, and the face guard and mask is known as the mangu. Seppuku is seen in the film. This was the ritual suicide of a shamed or defeated samurai. The samurai would kneel and slice open their abdomen, usually with their short sword, while a second, generally someone the samurai respected, rather friend or foe, would then behead them to ensure a swift death. While seppuku is the correct term, the practice is also informally referred to as harakiri, which literally translates to belly cut. The samurai robes which Algren is given are identical to, but bear a striking resemblance to, and are the same color scheme as those worn by Toshiro Mifune and Yojimbo in 1961. The archery which is practiced by the samurai is different to the yeomanry of the West. Kyudo is the Japanese martial art of archery. The experts in Kyudo are also referred to as Kyodoka. Moving on. Sorry. The banners which samurai wear upon their backs are known as shimono. In terms of film genre, this film would have the traits of each a Western action adventure and a Jidaigeki Japanese period drama and Shanbara sword fighting. Tom Cruise spent 9 months learning samurai fighting techniques. He gained 20 pounds of muscle in the process. The final battle in the film is based around the historical end of the Satsuma Rebellion at Shirayama on 24 December 1877. Like the film, the Imperial Army bombarded the samurai positions with artillery. Takamori, having run out of ammunition for his firearms, charged the Imperial lines with his 500 men, relying on their swords. For a while, the samurai held, as the Imperial infantry were not trained for traditional sword fighting. During this time, Takamori was shot and severely wounded. There is debate as to what led to his death, but what is known is his men cut off and hid his head to preserve his honor. The head was later found and buried with Takamori's body. What was left of his men, some 40 in number, were led by a samurai named Beppu. They did a final charge towards the Imperial lines and were wiped out by the gunfire. And Hello to Lee Anthony Davis. Is the film based on historical fact? Some of it, yes. Some of it is. Some of it's Hollywood. There are some actual, there are characters in it who are actual people, or were composites of actual people. So yeah. There's fact and there's fiction in this movie. It's a nice blend. The conversion of St. Paul by Caravaggio appears on the wall in the diplomat's room. The painting depicts a Roman soldier who converts to Christianity after prosecuting other Christians and realizing the error of his ways. According to director Edward Zwick, Hiroyuki Sanada, known as the Tom Cruise of Japan, had been the expected choice for the role of Katsumoto, and Zwick cast Ken Watanabe instead. Japanese representatives from Warner Brothers informed them this was an egregious slight against the more established Sanada. However, when Sanada accepted the supporting role of Vigio, it was seen as support for the movie and Watanabe. The most expensive film of Edward Zwick's career, with a budget of $140 million. It's also his highest grossing film, with box office returns of over $450 million. Tom Cruise doesn't play a white savior, although it appears that way because he is the main face of the movie and has the most screen time. The movie is about an American joining Japan's military. The movie is a dramatization of the Meiji period, an era in which Japan industrialized. Strangely enough, although this was a time when Japan opened up the West, it also had parallels to the Tokugawa shogunate when Japan isolated itself. It was also done to get intel on Westerners and their military capabilities. The initial drive to industrialization was caused when Spaniards were bragging about conquering Japan openly and hostilely. The page jumped on me. We have a few more here. Give me a moment. Okay. All right. The real-life counterpart to Katsumoto is Takamori Saigo, who led a samurai rebellion in 1877. As in the movie, Saigo ended up committing suicide in September 1877 after defeat in battle. The Emperor's attitude in this movie towards Katsumoto's struggle and death reflects actual Japanese popular sentiment towards Saigo, who, though defeated, was regarded as a hero. A statue of Saigo was erected shortly after his death and can be seen today in Ueno in northeast Tokyo. Final body count, 558 on-screen deaths. Yeah. The characters of Frank T. Hopkins and Hidalgo and Nathan Algren in this movie have very similar backgrounds. Both have PTSD from helping or aiding the massacre of Native Americans. They lose themselves in alcohol and work in 1800s Wild West type shows. They are offered a large amount of money to travel to a foreign land and are wholly changed by the experience. Captain Algren impales Colonel Bagley with his newly gifted sword engraved with, "I belong to the warrior in whom the old ways have joined the new." This represents him overcoming his people's past of forced westernization and now fighting for the indigenous people. By the way, when I saw this movie in theaters, when Bagley goes down, biggest cheer in the theater. During the battle in the fog, Algren's horse is rammed by another and collapses on top of him. This stunt was considered so dangerous that Tom Cruise wasn't allowed to do it in its entirety, though the shot of him and the horse hitting the ground is real. Special effects coordinator Paul J. Lombardi built an animatronic horse that, according to Edward Zwick, took months of work and $1 million for what lasts roughly a few seconds in the final film. All right. And that is all of the trivia in IMDb Pro for The Last Samurai. The scrolls are now closed. All righty. Thank you very much, Curtis. Bill and I both have some streams come out, kind of similar streams.
I actually got a stream right now that I need to get to. On my own.
So we are going to go ahead and very quickly wrap this up. Bill, where can we find your stream?
Where can we what?
When will you be starting your stream?
Sorry, what? Say again.
I take it you will be starting your live stream immediately after this is done on your channel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And mine is scheduled for 8 p.m., which will be a special episode of Unscripted. And Bill and I are kind of going after some of the same targets tonight. So I'm going to catch the first part of his show before I head on over to mine. All right. So, okay, we'll go ahead and wrap this up real quickly. Thank you to everybody who stuck around for the entire show. Sorry for my audio issue. I'm sure we will revisit this movie at some point down the line. Thank you to everyone who watched us here on YouTube, everybody who followed along on Rumble, and Bill, you usually have some last words.
Yes. Be excellent to each other. Come on over to the next stream. We're talking about the downfall of Hollywood, and we're going to get into it. Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars, everything. Because this shit's got to stop, and we're laying our foot down, and we have some opinions and thoughts. We're going to be very vocal about it.
Indeed. And as I always say, from HQ, our second home office in Arizona, and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night, take care, stay strong, because this is how we win.